Well, I couldn't walk without pain. My hips, or one of them, was aching, and I couldn't go on walks anymore. My lower back would sort of seize up, go into spasm. I certainly couldn't dance anymore. It was a kind of really, I remember it being very annoying to even cook dinner because I had to be on my feet, and it would just cause me a lot of pain. And pain takes energy, and it's distracting, and it also puts you in a bad mood. So it affected a lot, just from being an athlete and a dancer and a mother. Excuse me. There were some injuries I did have, and I would recuperate and rehab and then go back full force, and then it was just chronically developing, I think. And so when I started to sit more about 3 years ago, when I changed careers, I noticed that I got really stiff in my hips and lower back, and it became extremely painful then.
Our patient Cynthia, she's really involved with her health, and that's one of the reasons why this case was so successful. She started feeling discomfort 21 years ago, and she wasn't finding any relief.
So Cynthia first came to our office a few months back, and her chief complaint was that she had severe left-sided trap pain, and pain that went down in between her shoulder blade and her spine. She would also get pins and needles or tingling into her pinky and ring finger.
And so I've sort of tried to help myself along the way by preventative things. So chiropractors, physical therapy, stretching, all kinds of things, pilates, orthopedic people when I needed to see them, etc. I don't know the number because it's been continual. Many of them I don't feel like they really got me, but there were a couple that were like, yeah, these people really know what they're talking about, and I got relief, and things seemed to be working well. I just thought I had this idea that I had to continually go back repetitively and ongoingly for I don't know how long. I didn't know when it would stop, but I would just thought, okay, I'm going to have to keep doing this for maintenance, probably for the rest of my life.
She was diagnosed in our office with severe L5S1 disc degeneration and a right hip labrum tear, which aren't lightly injuries.
After reviewing her MRI, she had a lot of stenosis in her spine, which is that her discs in her neck were pushing back into her spinal cord. And prognosis in the beginning was a little bit bleak because of how severe, or if you looked at an image, you'd be like, we can't really help this person.
I was seeing an acupuncturist, and I worked with her, and then she said to me, I think you're ready. You're strong enough now, I want to send you to my friends at Barefoot. I have a background in sports medicine. I have a background in me being my own kind of guinea pig. I've been to probably every single modality of healing that exists, and when and I know the mechanism of healing and how things can work. So when I heard about the idea of the promise, which was very bold to put in writing, but also to speak, if you've been, and the promise went something like this: if you've been to 3 to 5 to 6 doctors and don't have relief, we will take your pain away 100%. And I just thought, that's a pretty bold statement to make by removing adhesions. So, and I knew what that meant, and I thought, wow, that's kind of an interesting way to approach pain relief that I hadn't worked with before. I had an interaction with Richie over the phone first, and that was very thorough, the intake, which I thought was actually very helpful, because he really he wanted to make sure that not only did I want them, but Barefoot to help me, but also was I a good fit for them. So that was very helpful, and I thought done very well and unique in medicine, in the medical field. I haven't noticed that before. And so when I walked in, the first person I saw as a doctor was Dr. Joe, because I had 2 areas in my body to work on, but I had to start somewhere. What I remember is I did have MRIs because I'd been dealing with these problems before, and he clearly he said to me, I remember this, he said, looking at the films of your neck, I would think a person with that neck would be in a 10 out of 10 excruciating pain. So no, I wasn't. And he said, I can't believe you're not. And so he kind of described for me vertebra by vertebra all the different areas of what he would do and what degree of damage there looked like there was. He did not overpromise, but he certainly over-delivered.
So Cynthia is somebody who, if you looked at her on a sheet of paper, you would think there was no chance that you'd be able to help this woman.
Halfway through my neck stuff, I saw Dr. Chris first, and he helped me. He worked with my hip area, lower back area, and then Nico kind of became my guy for that area. Oh, Nico's fantastic. I mean, and it's not just not just the doctor. The doctors are amazing, but it's also their helpers, their assistants, who are extremely knowledgeable, professional, and they're so great to work with. I love working with Dr. Nico and Dr. Joe.
With her persistence and with us trying to do the best that we can to get her better, we ended up getting her up to 95% better.
She understands the importance of coming in for maintenance as like a tune-up, because she understands that structurally that her neck is still a little bit more vulnerable. I'm happy to report that she doesn't get the pins and needles into the fingers nearly as frequently as she gets them. She still gets them on occasion, but she's able to go back and do the things in her life that she loves to do, which is exercising, being with her family, and coaching people.
The treatments are, I don't know, I hear myself saying thank you to them while they're doing it, because it's like, wow, if this was an itch that I could have scratched myself, it's something that I wanted to for the longest time, but it's not something I can do to myself. So it just relieved deep tension and tightnesses and pains that were both directly where the pain was, but also sometimes it wasn't where the pain was, but it affected the pain directly by minimizing it. So I'm so grateful for the treatments. I mean, they're amazing. They started off with, I guess I've had 3 different modalities of treatment. None of them are abrupt and kind of feel like they're potentially harmful. There were some chiropractors in my past who kind of cracked my neck, and I thought, gosh, have these guys gone to the same school as the ones who are good? Because it's very different. So none of that. No cracking.
Also, I gotta give props to the acoustic wave therapy machine, because that was just the cherry on top. We achieved so much with my hands and the instrument, and she was feeling great. And then once we got the machine, that was just the cherry on top. She went from 85 to 95 to 100% better. So that was a good case.
I know I'm going to be welcomed. I know I'm going to be appreciated like a human being, not a number, not a patient, no labels. It's like, it's who I am. I show up, and that's who I'm welcomed as. I feel seen. I feel, it's cared for.
Cynthia trusted us, and I'm really happy to report today that she's about 90% better, and this lady is doing amazing right now. So Cynthia, we love you. You're an awesome person.
Oh, well, last January, which is about a year, 14 months ago, I was probably in a 9.5 pain, 10. I'd say I'm probably at a 2. And sometimes it's a 1, and then as my body adjusts, sometimes it's 2 to 3, but then that doesn't last very long. I'm in maintenance, yeah. It's been going great. I even doubted, oh my gosh, can I really last like 3 weeks before my next treatment? But and it's allowed me to trust my body, the intelligence of my body, and just trust that it knows what to do and how to. And of course I do the exercises that I've been given, because if you're going to do the same habits that you've always been doing, your body's going to end up developing the same problems. So, oh my God, the freedom. I had this goal of having joyful freedom of movement. That was my sort of go-to vision or image and feeling that I would kind of go to, because sometimes my body did not feel the way I wanted it to, so I would just go to that. Well, this is what I would really love, is joyful freedom of movement, and I've actually achieved that. I guess two things. One thing I just would like to say is to anyone who has pain that is distracting at the very least and obstructive to living at the very most. give Barefoot a chance, give them a shot. They are unconventional, and thank God they're unconventional because they get unconventional results. So just give them a shot if you want relief. Anyone who is being distracted from their amazing life because of pain, because if you go and if you're not a good candidate, and if Barefoot's not right for you, they'll tell you. And if you are, they will absolutely help you.